It may seem like a recreational sport, but this is more than just a game. Burlington, North Carolina is home to the National Championships, in which the winner will have to win a 2-day tournament made up of 8 rounds and 144 holes. It's the ultimate test of concentration, nerves, and steady hands. This is Putt.
There is, when people hear about playing professional putt-putt, there's generally a smile that's going on until you hear that we've awarded over $8 million in prize money since we started. Then that changes.
You tell people, one of your passions or hobby, whatever you want to call this, you're like, wow, there's really such a thing. It's out there, man. You have professional ping pong, bowling, pool, darts. Why not mini golf?
We have about 30 million people that play putt-putt each year. And from those 30 million people, there's about 300 that are qualified to play in the professional level. It's not quite as easy as it seems.
These are the best players in the world. I mean, there's 9 billion people on the planet. I can beat every single one of them at putt-putt, except for these guys.
Well, this is here at the Burlington Putt-Putt, we're having the Professional Putters Association National Championship. And there's a series of tournaments that we play during the year, culminating at the end of the tour schedule as our National Championship Week.
In 1954, Putt-Putt Golf Courses was founded in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And in 1959, the Professional Putters Association was formed to recognize the greatest putters in the world. In 1960, we had our first national championship, so this is the 54th annual event.
One of the most unique athletes in the competition is Adam Samel from Houston, Texas, who, despite having cerebral palsy, is one of the world's best putters.
I have cerebral palsy, or CP, as a traumatic birth, so it really affects my muscle tone, and I'm real tight all the time. I have trouble walking because my form and balance are all off. I can't even use my right hand. That's why I play one-handed. They're great for me. They treat me like any other guy. If I mess up, then they'll let me hear it when I miss a putt, but that rarely happens.
When I first started hanging out at the putt-putt, there wasn't a whole lot of putting going on. I was just hanging out and having fun. My dog would go up there with me. It's crazy. But about 3 or 4 years later, started spending some time around other guys that played tournament play, and I got hooked on it. We got a lot of friends out here. I've been playing, turned pro in 1982, so this is my 32nd year to play on the tour as a professional.
I was working in a radio station, and I moved from Los Angeles for a job in Texas, working in a radio station, and my paycheck bounced. And the only thing I could think of to do would be to go back what made me happy as a kid. I mean, I never had a paycheck bounce, and I went to a putt-putt tournament. And that kind of started the ball rolling. I met all these incredible people, and I started playing professional putt-putt, and they took me under their wing and started showing me the shots, and they all cheer for me and hope I do well.
I actually went out to a putt-putt golf course in Houston for a Sunday school activity, and just picked up a club and one-handed, started playing, and realized I could play.
One of the biggest things is knowing your speed. I mean, it's probably true in PGA golf. These guys, they get their ball on the green. Once you know your speed, you're either making the holes or you're right there for your tap-in deuce. So speed is very key out here.
The man that invented putt-putt died in the mid-90s, and it took a different path. And then as players got older, they went a different path. And there's not a youth program right now. Like, a kid goes to a putt-putt for a birthday party, goes to another one. Well, by the time he gets to be age 9, he looks at putt-putt as being a child's game. And he never has that chance when he's 11, 12, 13, 14 to get those skills to continue playing as a teenager and then as a young adult. It's also not as popular because it's not on television. I mean, people will watch poker, they will watch lawnmower racing, they will watch reality shows about everything. This is actual sporting event and a competition, and if it got on television, it would have a little more awareness.
Baseball, football, anything, I'll watch anything. But putt-putt's the only sport I can play against my brother, against my dad, against these guys.
In this year's event, we have about 71 professional players and 43 amateur players. They come from all over the country, and in fact, we have one player this year from the Czech Republic. Well, the average person that plays putt-putt is 45. That's par for an amateur player. The winner of this tournament will average 24 for each of the 8 rounds that they play.
That's the way this game is because everybody is so good and the separation is not wide. So if you're on, you're probably going to do well. If you're a little bit off, they're going to beat you. So
they do know this course like the back of their hand, and that's why they're among the 300 best players in the world. There's a lot of changes to a miniature golf course. Believe it or not, just what time of day that you play in, how the carpet fibers will make a difference on the speed of a putt. The difference between the winner of this tournament and the person that finishes 12th will simply be the number of bogey strokes that are taken. They're both going to score approximately the same numbers of holes in ones. So the person that's been here and understands the difference in the carpet fibers, the time of the day, the kick off the rails, off the obstacles, that's the person that will become the champion. The PPA National Championship this week is an 8-round event, which means we play 144 holes. 4 rounds were played yesterday, and the final 4 rounds will be played today. Yesterday's round set up the final 4 rounds, and we have repaired the players.
Each hole is a par 2, and 7 rounds have been completed to this point. 3 men will battle it out in the final round to determine the champion. Currently, Kevin Lacey is in the lead with a score of 176, or 76 shots under par. Matt McCaslin is 1 shot behind Lacey, and Greg Newport is 4 shots behind. The first hole is a straight shot down a ridge, then over a small bump to a cup located in the middle of the green. The second hole starts with a diagonal bump right out of the tee box, followed by a long stretch of green to a hole located on an incline on the right side of the green.
Slide.
The third hole requires players to navigate between 4 staggered round obstacles to a hole located in the middle of the green. The L-shaped 4th hole features a cup located in the middle of a mound. The mound is in the center of the L shape, but left of center of the tee box. The fifth hole makes players putt around an octagon obstacle towards a hole located in the middle of an incline, which leads to an elevated level. The sixth hole has two round obstacles on the lower level, with a diagonal incline which leads to an elevated level where the cup is located. The seventh hole is a long straight shot up an incline, then a small ridge to a hole located in the middle of the slightly elevated plateau. Behind the hole is a triangle which will force long, inaccurate shots to either side. The eighth hole starts with a slightly uphill shot down a step to a lower level. The hole is in between two rectangle obstacles, all of which are located on an elevated area with a small ridge leading to a lower level. The acute-angled ninth hole requires players to bank their first shot off a diagonal rail, which will filter the ball up a ridge to a small elevated area where the cup is located. The obtuse-angled 10th hole has a slight turn to the left where the cup is located just on top of a diagonal incline. T-shaped 11th hole is a straight shot to a cup located in between two diagonally positioned rectangle obstacles. The 12th hole has an octagon obstacle, a slanted rail, and a difficult shot to a hole located directly behind the short end of a rectangle obstacle. The 13th hole is L-shaped, with a left-centered hole in between 3 diagonally placed rectangle obstacles. The 14th hole features a hole tucked into the left corner located at the end of a long, straight fairway. Unfortunately for Greg, after the 15th hole, he is unable to keep up with the leaders, and the championship would come down to the final 3 holes between Matt McCaslin and Kevin Lacey. The extremely difficult 15th hole makes players shoot around a wide rectangle obstacle to a hole surrounded by downhill ridges that lead to a lower level. On the most difficult hole on the course, Lacey will be first to play. The putt lips out, leaving a difficult uphill putt. With the score all tied up, McCaslin has a chance to take a lead with a hole-in-one. McCaslin misses the putt, and the ball rolls down the hill into the corner. He must now make a tricky putt to stay tied for the lead.
Good shot.
The 16th hole offers players several options, as they can putt between or around 2 triangle obstacles to a centrally located hole. Lacey will putt first again on the 16th hole. He navigates around the obstacle successfully, but misses the putt. McCaslin now has a golden opportunity to take the lead. His putt misses, leaving the score still tied. The long 17th hole has an extruding pipe in the middle of the green, followed by a downhill incline to a cup located in the back middle. Lacey leads off the 17th hole. The putt seems to roll away from the hole, leaving the door open for McCaslin. McCaslin has yet another golden opportunity to take the lead on the second to last hole.
Oh, good shot, Matt. You got the kick.
McCaslin gets the kick off the back rail for the hole-in-one and a one-shot lead going into the last hole. The 18th and final hole is a long straight shot up a long incline to a hole located in the center of the green. Every eye is on the final hole of the championship. If McCaslin makes a hole-in-one, he will be crowned champion.
Tell you what, man, my seventh round, I played over here on this course, and I probably played 3 to 4 shots worse than I played all practice rounds during the tournament. I just really played bad. I thought I was maybe out of it, and I was actually down 2 strokes in the last round, and somehow I missed one of the early holes that you should make, and I just somehow dug it out. Really neck and neck all the way towards the end, and I made the last 2 holes to pull it out. It was close, man. Kevin Lacey's a great player. I'm fortunate to pull it out and win it. It's pretty nervous. I mean, the good news, he missed 17. I knew I was up 1. I figured if I made 18, I had it 1. I just tried the best putt I did, and I played it great with a good speed, and I hit it. It's nice. Yeah, my mom and dad came from Tennessee, and of course my brothers both play. So, and my brother's wife and her daughter came over. So it's a little family here. It's great.
For Matt McCaslin, he has a year to wear the title of national champion, but not much longer till the next tournament.
Next tournament's in Myrtle Beach at the Masters. It's here in the second week of October. First place is 4,000, so I'm looking forward to that one.